Thanks for staying with us. Nigerian Customs Service, alongside stakeholders, have continued to maintain cordial relationship since the coming of the CG of Nigerian Customs Service. Also, on customs reports, more controllers and command make more revenue for the country, plus more report. I am Seme Stay tuned. The CG of Nigerian Customs Service visited Upper Customs Command, where seizures of drugs were made by the command. Yet importers to continue to come forward and clear their consignment with proper documentation. It speaks more on the number of issues.
These are very sensitive imports, and it requires some kind of certification to validate the use to which these items will be put to. There are a number of other seizures apart from those ones, and they include a 20-footer of expired muffin cookie biscuits, another 20-footer of expired primal energy drinks, 20 foots loaded with expired St. Calvin tomato paste, a 20-foot container of expired The Roots tomato paste, and a 20-foot container of 1,700 cartons of codeine cough syrup that were concealed with luxury food flask. We have yet another 40-footer container, CAAU 83750-501, was found to contain 1,575 cartons of CSMIX with codeine concealed with 156 cartons of electric kettles alongside additional pharmaceutical products. Collectively, all of these seizures, we also have some other assorted seizures of cannabis sativa packed in jumbo bags, 13 jumbo bags, and which was loaded inside a Toyota Sienna vehicle. So collectively, all these seizures amount to 6,381,237,988 naira worth of prohibited, expired, and falsely declared goods. The importation of expired drugs and controlled substance pose a direct threat to public health, while the concealment of codeine-based products represents a calculated attempt to fuel substance abuse and undermine our healthcare system. Let me therefore state clearly that Apapa Port is no longer a playground for smugglers or any of those other criminal syndicates hiding behind us.
The custom boss also commended Upper Customs Controller for putting up a building that was built by the customs within a very few months. The building housed the data area of the Nigerian Customs Service alongside the medical infrastructure made for the command. He said that the command will continue to operate according to laid down rules as approved by government.
This infrastructure is a direct reflection of the vision of the Controller General, leveraging of modern technology, analytics to fight smuggling, secure our nation, and facilitate legitimate trade. This project is a tangible success story of the Customs CPAT, Partnership for Cooperation in Trade, as championed by our CGC. I must express our profound appreciation to our stakeholders and partners. Your collaboration has been instrumental in turning this vision into a reality. Your willingness to partner with us demonstrates a shared commitment to building a stronger, safer, and more prosperous Nigeria. Without your support, this rapid transformation would not have been possible. I must also appreciate the CGC for your purpose-driven leadership, unwavering support, and for prioritizing the welfare as well as operational efficiency of officers at the command level. Naming this building after you is a testament to your dedication to duty and inspiration you provide for us all.
The importance of data in any modern customs administration. Data is the new currency, of international trade, of international business, and we value data a lot because it is the backbone of our risk management engine. And we cannot pretend to have a modern customs administration if you do not have credible data to support it and drive the operations. Virtually every project that we embark upon using ICT is driven by data. If you are doing an AEO program for compliance, we need data of trade to do it. If you want to do selectivity, we need data to do it. If you want to create a number of indicators for risk, we need data to do it. And this is the direction in which all international customs administrations all over the world are moving. This is the direction in which modern organizations are moving. And this is why I believe that these facilities will be very instrumental in driving our operations. I want to really commend the Customs Area Controller, whose stint in Abuja has prepared him to have the motivation to embark on this kind of project. I commend you and your team of officers who have worked on this project, and I believe that we are going to put this project to use. I encourage all of you officers that the intelligence that we are going to derive from the analysis of this data should be put into our operations. I also encourage our stakeholders who we are going to be working with, partner government agencies, to trust us and believe that decisions that will be taken are going to be driven by intelligence that we get from the analysis inside these facilities.
You are watching the program Customs Report.
Nigeria's push to entrench transparency and accountability in its customs operations has received a major boost as the Nigerian Customs Service strengthened its collaboration with the World Customs Organization WCO under the Anti-Corruption and Integrity Promotion Program ACIP. The renewed commitment followed a high-level engagement at the WCO headquarters in Brussels, Belgium on March 23, 2026 during an official visit by the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, who also chairs the WCO Council. At the meeting, the ACIP team provided a detailed briefing on the progress of its partnership with the NCS, highlighting key milestones in integrity capacity building, the development of integrity-driven standard operating procedures, and preparations for a comprehensive integrity risk assessment scheduled for 2026. Nigeria's long-awaited National Single Window NSW platform will go live on Friday, with the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, declaring it a major step towards eliminating port inefficiencies and accelerating economic growth. Speaking at the NSW Customer Support Center in Apapa, Lagos on Tuesday, Edun said the digital one-stop platform will streamline import and export processes, reduce bureaucracy, and improve transparency across the country's trade ecosystem.
There have been multiple attempts, but I think under the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR's whole reform agenda and action plan, there are many long-standing items of distortions in the economy that were not successful in the past. The difference is the political will, the determination, and of course the capacity that has been brought to bear to long-standing problems, including the national single window and the trade sector. And so I think in terms of sustainability, just as other major reforms have been sustained, His Excellency, Mr. President, will stay the course and sustain and improve and build on this initiative which is being launched today and will be implemented in a day or two. Of course, SMEs, they are 90% of the enterprises, either micro, small, or medium scale. So they definitely will not be left out, and I'm sure the Honorable Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment will enlighten us more on that. Let me just also focus on, and I know my colleagues will answer so many of these questions. But Business Day, you talked about funding and investment not being in the budget. I think it is in the budget. The chairman, NRS, will speak to that. Guardian, you spoke to the commitment to trade facilitation and industrial growth. They go side by side. By the time it is easier to import your raw materials or your spare parts or your finished goods, it makes your production more efficient, more competitive, whether it's for the large domestic market or the even larger export market of West Africa and indeed Africa as a whole. And we must also emphasize that Nigeria is now a country that is producing domestic raw materials in a way it was not before, because as a result of the coming on stream of not just refineries, but petrochemical complexes, we have raw materials for a whole range of industrial products, from textiles to chemicals to pharmaceuticals, and even to agricultural processing products.
He noted that the initiative is designed to address persistent bottlenecks caused by the multiplicity of government agencies operating at the nation's ports, an issue that has historically slowed cargo clearance and driven up the cost of doing business.
The Ghana Customs Command has recorded a revenue of over 120.5 billion naira in the month of February alone in 2026. According to the Customs Area Controller, the revenue increase is a result of government policies as laid down by government.
The Tinkan Command of the Nigerian Customs Service posted a revenue figure of over 120 billion naira, a clear leap from over 103 billion naira it achieved in the corresponding month in 2025. This disposition, industry watchers say, reflects a robust year-on-year growth of over 16.8 billion naira, further cementing the command status as a major revenue earner for the service after the Premier Port Command in Apapa. Fingers easily points towards Comptroller Frank Onyeka, the comptroller who has demonstrated rare capability by being proactive in introducing fresh strategies to revenue generation, stakeholder engagement, trade facilitation, and anti-smuggling efforts, all aimed at achieving tangible outcomes.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of Idiroko Command has continued to wage war against smugglers of contraband items coming into the country, as is to say, on seizures made by his command.
When Deputy Comptroller Olukayode Afeni assumed duty as Acting Customs Area Comptroller of Ogun 1 Command of the Nigerian Customs Service, the Idiroko border was synonymous with smuggling and illicit trade. Within record time, Afeni stunned observers by intercepting contraband with a duty-paid value of over 2 billion naira, the highest ever recorded in such a short period in the command's history. Since then, enforcement has only intensified. The command seized prohibited goods valued at over 1 billion naira, ranging from petroleum products to agricultural contraband. Afeni explained during a press briefing.
The above report is an indication of a strong message to those who are not willing to embrace legitimate businesses. The command will continue to exercise the statutory responsibility in the overall interest of the socio-economic prosperity of the country. Our zeal and determination to make the command unfavorable to smuggler is still on inter-agency collaboration. In accordance with the Comptroller General Customs Policy Trust, we are formally transferring custody of 2,547 intercepted parcels of cannabis sativa to the commander of the NDLEA, Idiroko Special Command. This includes 2,055 pieces of coconut size, weighing 710 kg, 15 pieces of bread size, weighing 381 kg. The total kg, as part of our commitment to preserving cultural heritage and preventing the loss of historical artifacts, we are officially transferring 2 antiquities, you can see them, to the curator, National Museum, Baptist Girls College, Idi Aba, Abeokuta, Ogun State, following an expert appraiser.
It is noteworthy that the revenue growth and compliance trajectory of the command did not escape his Midas touch. Thus, Afeni's enforcement drive has translated directly into revenue gains. The command generated over 285 billion naira in revenue in the first quarter of 2026, surpassing the over 259 billion naira collected in the same period of 2025. This represents a 1.082% growth year-on-year, driven by enhanced baggage assessments and auction sales of seized petroleum products.
The priority remains to keep our borders safe from any inimical activities that could compromise our national interest, uniformity with international trade agreement, and by extension our national security. We therefore thank all Nigerians, especially the local business community, for their continuous support. We also appreciate media houses in Nigeria for their balanced reportage on the revenue generation. During the period under review, the command collected a total sum of 285,652,460 naira. This amount surpasses what was generated same period last year, 2025, with 259,265,495 naira, which translates to over 1,000% increase. These are from baggage assessment and auction sales of petroleum products intercepted during anti-smuggling operation. I would like to reiterate that the revenue activities of the command comprise importation, exportation of legitimate goods under the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme and assessment of merchandise and baggage. Trade facilitation. In export, the command recorded a significant surge in export activities, moving 95 metric tons of goods with free on board value of 305,749 naira 64 kobo. This represents a substantial year-on-year improvement compared to the same period in 2025, which saw no or zero export trade. I wish to commend the precatory collaboration and tremendous assistance we always receive from traditional leaders, eminent personalities, and some host communities, including members of the press, in our resolute drive against smuggling in overall interest of our dear nation. It is pertinent to note that Customs will continue to actualize sustainable campaigns and strict enforcement of government fiscal policies with a view to encouraging compliant traders while sustaining the fight against smugglers, improve synergy with other security agencies. On final note, I humbly extend my sincere gratitude to the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adu-Adini, MFR, PhD, and his management team for their continuous confidence in our ability to execute our duties with excellence and dedication.
We continue with more reports on happenings around the customs formations in the country.
Nigeria has taken a decisive step towards reshaping small-scale cross-border trade as the Nigerian Customs Service deepens engagement with the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat on the rollout of a simplified trade regime (STR) designed to lower barriers for micro, small, and medium enterprises (MSMEs). At a high-level meeting held at the Customs headquarters in Maitama, Abuja on March 23, 2026, both sides signaled a shared commitment to translating policy ambition into practical frameworks that can expand participation in intra-African trade, particularly among informal and small-scale operators who dominate border economies. Representing the Comptroller General of Customs, the Deputy Comptroller General in charge of Tariff and Trade, Caroline Nyangwan, framed the initiative as a critical intervention in Nigeria's trade facilitation agenda. She emphasized that simplifying procedures without compromising regulatory compliance remains central to the service's reform trajectory. The Seme Area Command of the Nigerian Customs Service has entered a new phase of leadership as Comptroller A.L. Kaila assumes office following the successful tenure of Comptroller Wale Adenuga, who exits after recording a remarkable revenue growth for the command. The official handover ceremony held at the ECOWAS Joint Border Post marked the transition of authority from Adenuga to Kaila, bringing to a close a tenure widely regarded as both demanding and impactful.
It is with deep sense of responsibility that I, as in duty today, here in Seme Command as new Customs Area Controller. I am sincerely grateful to the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeni, MFR, DSM, FNIPR, PhD, PSC Daga, and his management team for the confidence reposed in me to serve at this capacity. Let me start by appreciating the outgoing Customs Area Controller, who happens to be my boss in many places, because we work together, as he rightly said. Sir, we thank you and we appreciate you for your leadership, for your dedication. We thank you for the foundation you laid for the continuous success of this command. We acknowledge and recognize your contributions towards revenue generation, trade facilitations, and suppression of smuggling. Sir, we assure you, by the grace of God, we are going to consolidate on the positive gains you recorded here in Seme, so that by the time...
Reflecting on his time in office, the outgoing comptroller described the period as one filled with challenges and accomplishments. He disclosed that the command witnessed a dramatic increase in revenue generation, rising from over 5 million naira to over 1.5 billion naira under his leadership. Adenuga credited these achievements to the commitment, discipline, and collective efforts of officers and men of the command.
And at the end of the day, God was able to use every one of us to achieve what we achieve in Seme. Is it in terms of the revenue? If we can take the revenue of Seme from 517 million to, as at today, 4.1 billion, it's incredible. Is it by our strength? We sat down here under the Joint Border Security meeting. We decided we are reducing the checkpoints, and all of us agreed. And the checkpoint was considerably reduced from certain number to a paltry number that you can even travel at a very, short time. Is it not at this Seme that we gathered together under the Joint Border Security meeting that we hosted a Major General? After doing the handing over, he said he wants to come to Seme, and he said he has never stayed late in his life till 7 o'clock, and he was with us till 7:30, and he was enjoying it. He said, this is a serene environment that existed in Seme. He was looking at the interrelationship that exists between us. We look at ourselves, we said, Seme has come to stay. Is it not here that we work closely with the journalists? And the journalists were there for us. You know, not that we were 100% perfect, but we open all our doors. They see what we are doing. So I told my colleagues when we just finished meeting today, everything we achieve it together. It's not by Wale. It's by everybody from the military to the other sisters agencies to the customs. And you know, the last meeting we held here is with the corridor. The corridor is an ECOWAS organization. And they, you know, the KIP Seme had close to 98% in trade facilitation, you know, early coming to work and other things like that. So these are things that keep us going.
He emphasized that the milestone was a shared success and encouraged personnel to sustain the spirit of teamwork by extending full cooperation to the new comptroller in order to build on the gains already recorded. Adenuga also expressed gratitude to sister security agencies and border stakeholders for their unwavering support throughout his tenure.
Operation Wide Wind has seized jerrycans of PMS for smugglers operating in Kebbi State. The leader of the team said that the operation was conducted under the instruction of the CG of Nigerian Customs Service. He wants smugglers to stop smuggling consignments of PMS in and outside the country. A total of 864 jerrycans of PMS were seized, estimated at the cost of over 21 million naira, while a truckload of PMS was handed over to the appropriate authority.
It is content of 45,000 liters of petroleum motor spirit, PMS, and the key to the representative of NADPR, Sokoto KB, for onward prosecution and necessary action. Thank you.
Necessary action.
Good morning. Good morning. On behalf of the controller or coordinator, KB Sokoto, NMDPRA, I will take over.
Just before the end of this week edition of the program, Customs Support, we brought you a report where the CG of Nigerian Customs Service continue to praise customs officers all over the country for conducting themselves according to laid down rules as approved by government. For me, Seme, thanks for watching.